What makes a woman poor in bed? Story 1-1. Being enthusiastic is important. Nothing puts off men more than a woman who allows sex simply because it is what he wants. Initiating and leading can be very appealing. It is exciting when a partner clearly initiates sex and takes the lead. Unfortunately, there is a common belief that men should always take on this role. Engaging in reasonably long and active foreplay is enjoyable for everyone. Men appreciate stroking, hugging, kissing, and oral pleasure. While it is often expected that men get women in the mood, we also love to be on the receiving end. Being active during sex is crucial. Although I haven't had many partners, I have noticed that some women, at times, adopt a make-me-come mentality and simply lie there, waiting for their partner to do all the work. While this may be a result of stimulation overload, it is incredibly attractive when a woman actively tries to bring pleasure to her partner. Being vocal during intimacy is effective. Phrases like, "Put it in," "just like that," or "Oh my God, this is so good," not only boost a man's self-esteem but also enhance the erotic experience. Story 2. I believe there is a lot to be learned from how people discuss sex. Often, when I hear women talk about sex, it seems to be something they offer as a reward to their partner or something that happens to them. This perspective frames women as the recipients of sex, lacking agency in the experience, which can often be reflected in their actions. What do you do leading up to sex? Playful teasing, hinting at sex later, random touches and words, etc. While this advice often seems directed at men in stagnant relationships, it is applicable to both partners and can contribute to a healthier intimate connection. What do you do before sex? Engaging in stroking, licking, sexy talk, massages, etc. Foreplay is crucial. What do you do during sex? How do you move your hips and legs? Are you kissing? Pull him close. Run your fingers through his hair. Hold his neck. Squeeze his chest. Use your nails on his thighs. Bite his ear. Lick his neck. Rub his body, whatever you enjoy. Clearly, he may prefer less or more of any of these actions, but you must be an active participant during the experience. What do you do after sex? Cuddling, giving compliments, kissing, etc. Discussing what you enjoyed or didn't enjoy can show a willingness to enhance the experience. Do you have a good, romantic relationship outside of sex? While this isn't directly linked to sex, it does impact it. It's challenging to enjoy intimacy if you are unhappy in the relationship. Story 3. I believe that, in a broad sense, most men want the same as most women in bed. Someone who shows their affection for them, through touching, caressing, kissing, and whispering sweet or intimate things in their ear. We all want to feel desired and have our love and pleasure reciprocated. The secret to the art of lovemaking is communication and vulnerability. Story 4. It is the same for both a woman and a man. Communicate, pay attention to your partner, be patient, and reciprocate. Story 5. Whenever this question arises, I am always surprised by how low the expectations are. Then I recall all the instances when my female friends discuss their sex lives, and the remarks about show enthusiasm and don't be passive really need to be highlighted. Story 6. When a man gives a woman confidence and makes her feel good, she will do anything to please him. Story 7. Open-mindedness. Some women are open-minded when it comes to their pleasure, but not vice versa. Story 8. Being energetic, enthusiastic, open about her desires, and actively involved in intimacy, rather than being passive. Story 9. I will state that correlation does not equate to causation. However, every woman who has promised to rock my world in bed has also failed. Maybe overconfidence is a turn-off for me, or it alters my perspective of the act, changing it from enthusiastic participant to engaged observer. Whatever it is, it's gotten to the point where if a lady brags about how awesome she is, I just lose all interest. Another significant factor that makes a woman bad in bed for me is the complete absence of participation. I lament the fact that some ladies believe their role is to lay there and do nothing or quietly obey directions to shift position and remain silent. I have no idea if they are enjoying sex or just enduring, or even if they're retreating into themselves to escape some past trauma. It doesn't necessarily make sex bad, but rather uncomfortable. Of course, they will quietly say they enjoyed it, that I didn't do anything wrong, and that they've just been the silent type, so I shouldn't worry. But I've partnered with the silent in-bed ladies who were just phenomenal. When I feel their arms or legs around me tightening, that turns me on. When I feel their fingernails dig into my back, a complete turn on. When they try to keep quiet and bite into my shoulder to suppress noise, also a turn on. On the other hand, when it comes to making noise, too much makes the experience bad. I don't mind the moaning and grunting, but if she feels the need to scream excessively, it takes away from the moment. I mean, if she's a screamer and knows to scream into a pillow, that's fine. But screaming because she thinks it's part of the act is not appealing. And then there are those who think they are in an adult film. Oh yes, F asterisk 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 my wet. My wet so hot. Please stop. I don't even care about finishing at that point. I enjoy adult films, but I have them on mute strictly because the dialogue is ridiculous and distracting. They could have been amazing, but once they started with the cheap talk, it ruined everything. They were great until they lost it. However, if you whisper in my ear, that can elevate mediocre sex to several levels. I want to hear that again. Story 10. Enthusiasm and involvement are important. It is essential to engage in mutual activities. Open communication about needs can help achieve fulfillment. Every situation is unique, and while we may try various approaches, we cannot know every possibility. Story 11. Actually doing something like clawing my back, biting my neck, or pressing your body against mine. Literally anything that shows you want all of me the same way I'm trying to get into all of you. Story 12. Enthusiasm and arousal. Even very passive women who prefer to be idle can be good in bed if they are enjoying your efforts. Story 13. Younger women may struggle in relationships while older women often excel. It's important to understand each other's desires and approach them with confidence. Gaining experience through multiple partners can help with this. While it may not be what everyone wants to hear, knowing what a partner likes is key to satisfaction. Each person's preferences can vary significantly. Story 14. Being cute but smart, willing to initiate, and touching every part of your partner's body before intimacy. Smiling but humble, and not hesitant in being seductive. Story 15. Being good in bed starts with great hygiene. Being bad in bed with me starts with, well, I'm really good looking, so all I need to do is just lay here because I'm gorgeous. By the way, I'll say you're not good in bed if you can't figure out what I like. What? You expect me to tell you overtly what I like? That won't happen. Ever. Now, make me feel good while this whole experience is about me. Wait. Don't mess up my hair. Story 16. Initiative is key. The male anatomy is straightforward. It responds positively to stimulation. If you want to engage without being prompted, enhance your touch for better results. Congratulations, you have reached a high level of satisfaction in the bedroom. Story 17. A significant factor is confidence. Being attractive and having enthusiasm are also important, but the most controllable aspect is confidence. In terms of other elements within a woman's control, anticipation is the most effective form of foreplay. A woman who understands the narrative concepts of build-up and payoff can effectively stimulate your mind. Story 18. Her ability to learn and challenge her knowledge is important. Many people cannot accept criticism, which can make them difficult partners. Story 19. Passion, enthusiasm, and a willingness to give, combined with open communication and a desire to experiment, indicate warmth and engagement in relationships. Essentially, this is the opposite of being emotionally distant. Story 20. Good. Confident, passionate, genuine, willing to experiment, communicates openly before, during, and after, takes direction well, non-judgmental, patient, reassuring if anything goes wrong, willing to be in the moment and enjoy things fully, fun, unfazed by anything that may go wrong except her partner not being satisfied. Bad. Lazy, poor communicator, stubborn, judgmental, set in her sexual ways, unwilling to experiment, distracted, insecure, prioritizes her own satisfaction without making a legitimate effort to ensure her partner's satisfaction. In other words, these are the same qualities that one should strive for to be good in bed. Story 21. Moving. Don't just lie there. Imagine if it were a dance but horizontal. What would be the worst dance possible? Just standing still. Hand movements are better. Hips gyrating are better. Head bobbing is good too. If I have to push to get even a little reaction, I won't return. Story 22. I dated a woman who frequently yelled during our time together. She never initiated anything and did not perform oral sex, even though she was skilled at it. She looked good for her age, with lovely hair and an attractive figure. Every time I went down on her, she would arch her back and push her lower body into the bed, which made it difficult for me. I had to adjust to her movements and it strained my neck. I repeatedly asked her not to do that, but she said she couldn't help it. We are friends now. She is a nice person, but the lack of chemistry was evident. Additionally, she snored quite loudly. We have since become best friends. Story 23. For me, if she looks good, has curves in the right places, and I am attracted to her, and she is not prude or rude and actually enjoys it and participates, that is all it takes. Aside from that, if she is passionate, attentive, takes care of my needs, and allows me to take care of hers, that also makes her appealing. Foreplay is a plus as well. I appreciate when a woman takes the lead. However, if I am not physically attracted to a woman, it will not work sexually. Story 24. Yes, I would like to contribute. I believe the various lists of attributes and behaviors in women I am seeing are legitimate. I am sure distributing these lists to women would be beneficial. However, I want to elaborate on what has been mentioned. It is essential for us to have the lead-up and foreplay that can begin days or hours before intimacy. This includes playfulness, flirting, and goofing around, whether related to intimate topics or simply because you enjoy her company. Complimenting her looks, such as telling her she looks beautiful or that her outfit flatters her figure. Physical affection, like playfully grabbing her and expressing your desire for her. Telling her you have been thinking about how much you love her smile or presence. In general, touch her, hug her, and engage with her in a way that shows appreciation for her uniqueness and femininity. These actions are free and beneficial for both partners. You may be surprised how much more interested she becomes in passionate and uninhibited intimacy after receiving this kind of fun, affectionate attention outside the bedroom, even before you begin physical interactions. Consider this scenario. A boyfriend or husband enters the bedroom and starts suggestively touching his partner. He may be turned on or getting there, but she might need to switch gears mentally. This can lead to a series of thoughts and reactions, such as feeling pressure to catch up, becoming anxious, or even feeling resentful if she feels rushed. This brings me to my final point. Slow down. It is crucial to take your time and focus on the first list while also slowing everything down significantly. Your partner will feel much less pressure to keep pace with you. I am not suggesting that all men move too quickly, but if any women are reading this, do you agree with this recommendation? If you think you are moving slowly, try cutting that speed in half. It can be very enjoyable in that way. Our bodies and minds may operate differently, so it is important to support each other by recognizing and working with those differences in our psychology and biology. Story 25. What makes her good in bed is passion, enthusiasm, and a desire to be with me. On the downside, she tends to lay like a starfish and appears bored at times. Story 26. Effort back, expressing her desires in the moment without fear of being bold with me, taking charge at times, and teasing leading up to intimacy. Story 27. Act like you genuinely want to be intimate with me, rather than just going through the motions. I'm fine with a partner who enjoys being pleasured, as long as she appears enthusiastic about intimacy. Additionally, being open to learning and trying new things to satisfy your partner is definitely a positive trait. Story 28. Good in bed means actually contributing to my pleasure. Bad in bed means lying there and doing nothing. Really bad in bed involves complaining about not experiencing pleasure after doing nothing. Story 29. Eagerness to participate in and reciprocate sexual acts is a true expression of passion. This has always been the best experience for me, being excited to be there and showing it, rather than acting as if it is a chore. makes all the difference. Story 30. The minimum requirement to be good is to let your partner shine. If you don't have a clear sexual identity of your own and place 100% of the responsibility and accountability on your partner, have some faith in them and give them the benefit of the doubt. To put it another way, if you don't know what you want to eat and leave it to the chef to decide, don't be a picky eater and try what's on the plate. If you like it, communicate that effectively. If you don't like it, communicate that effectively. It is inherently distracting and counterproductive to passion to focus on what is between the lines because you can't trust your partner to indicate there is a problem before or during, but only after or long after. Women dislike when men ask if they can kiss them. Men ask this because they don't trust their partner to communicate effectively and don't want to hear later that they didn't really want to kiss at some future point. The first and second guessing reads as insecurity and is contrary to the confidence expected as a baseline. All you need to do to foster that confidence is demonstrate that you can communicate effectively during the many steps toward a boundary being crossed, rather than out of the blue long afterward. That is what leads to being good in bed. If you do have some idea of who you are and what you want, you can move from good to great. Communicate effectively and take 50% responsibility when things don't go as expected. Show some passion and appreciation. If you want to reach legendary status, explore the idea that romance, seduction, and foreplay are two-way streets and should feel good for men as well. Note: communicating effectively means your partner understands you, not just that you did something you believe they would notice and understand. I think the traffic light model of communication is optimal. Keep in mind that if things are going well, they will focus on all the good things and not analyze every breath, sound, or movement or the absence of these for potential messages. A good thing to understand about men is that if something isn't significant enough for you to communicate or act on, then it's not a big deal for you. Story 31. Responsiveness, willingness, and openness are essential qualities. The bonus advantages include flexibility and the ability to be highly accessible in various roles. Story 32. Passion, enthusiasm, playfulness, and attraction are all very appealing. Appearance is a plus, but personality is essential. Story 33. Broad brush, enthusiasm. When a girl is genuinely hypersexual, everything else is just a distraction. They truly want, need, crave, and are obsessed with sex. As a man, I feel the same way. If that energy isn't matched, we're not a match. Story 34. Enthusiasm is the single most important quality that makes a woman a good lover. We want you to show and tell us how much you enjoy intimacy, what you specifically like in bed, and when something really feels good. Take initiative. Be vocal. Express yourself. Move your body. Grind on top of your partner. Wrap your legs around them. Make eye contact. Smile. Just be an expressive, active, and enthusiastic participant in the experience. Don't just lie there passively. That is not appealing. Story 35. Don't just lie there. Show enthusiasm. Make your partner feel wanted as well. Foreplay is important. Men appreciate it too. Initiate it yourself every once in a while. Story 36. Attitude makes a significant difference, as do views and values. This is why compatibility in love, relationships, and marriage is important. Story 37. Moving in a way that complements the man's efforts can enhance the experience. There is nothing more frustrating than a partner who insists on a specific position but provides little resistance to your movements or appears to move away from them. You may find yourself barely moving and struggling to maintain balance. In one relationship, I requested that she lean back against me, but she did not comply. Every attempt to thrust resulted in her moving forward, and she declined to explore any other position. Story 38. Openness to experimentation and enthusiasm are important. Caring about your partner's experience greatly contributes to positive interactions, yet this is often overlooked. Story 39. I am quite dominant, so I do not require partners who are actively taking initiative. What matters most to me is having someone who is open to engaging in the activities I enjoy and who will follow my lead. Additionally, good communication is important. Story 40. Good. Engaging in intimate conversations and exploring personal desires. Bad. lacking the confidence to be vulnerable or try new experiences. Men cannot read minds. Please communicate your needs clearly and assertively. Story 41. Smells good. Always starts with a good intimate encounter. Takes initiative and shares the experience. A good kisser. Story 42. Eagerness to participate and reciprocate in sexual acts demonstrates genuine passion. That has always been the best experience for me. Being excited to be present and expressing it is far more fulfilling than treating it as a chore. Story 43. Enjoy it in her own way. I've had my share of experiences, and each woman had her own pace and preferences that she really enjoyed. Some only wanted basic acts, and those were fine as well. Don't be unresponsive. Story 44. Understanding the mechanics and geometry of how the pole fits into the hole. It is frustrating when we are working against each other. Story 45. When her legs shake and she screams in pleasure, it is concerning when she is clearly not enjoying it and is not taking any steps to improve the situation. Story 46. Enthusiasm is important. I think she actually has to enjoy it. Additionally, practice and effort are essential. Rhythm involves knowing what to say and not being lazy. Story 47. The ability to have constructive conversations to communicate what is good and bad. A lack of judgment and fear of being judged. Emotional intelligence to discuss feelings about your sex life outside of the heat of the moment. Openness to change, and the understanding that your sex life can evolve over time, along with overall enthusiasm about the sexual partnership, which demonstrates an equal desire to satisfy each other. Story 48. I'm surprised. I saw very few instances of eye contact and authenticity. I, for one, absolutely dislike poor acting and unconvincing production. I may watch adult films for a quick fix but fast forward to the climax because the acting is so frustrating. Some individuals here make it seem like you have to be extraordinary. I'm an older female. Enthusiasm is not limited to acrobats. It also includes authenticity. I will do pretty much anything, and I do it well, really well. I'm playful and will wear what my partners want me to wear. However, the one thing my partners always talk about, think about, and remember is the way I look at them with hunger, animal hunger. Story 49. This is what it comes down to. If a man makes a woman his priority, provides for her, supports her, understands her emotions and struggles, and listens to her when she needs help, she will feel so good that she will rock your world every night. If a partner makes me feel that way, why not show him how good I am in bed? Story 50. Ordinarily, I wouldn't respond to a post by saying I don't know. But this time I will because I wonder if even the people who claim to know really know. I think about the women who were the best for me, and I don't know why they were. They just somehow were. Maybe they were a good fit, or there was some pheromone interaction on an unconscious level. It did seem to be mutual, where they liked me as well. Anyway, that was my experience. Does anyone else feel the same way? Story 51. All of the advice is difficult. As someone on the asexuality spectrum, I came here to learn for whatever partner I may have next, if I have one. The enthusiasm of engaging in activities not just out of obligation is tiring to think about. I typically perform oral sex when my partner is aroused because I'm not interested in engaging in actual intercourse most of the time. I've tried to engage in penetrative sex, but my legs are quite short, so I found it challenging to meet expectations. Vocalization during intimate moments is difficult for me. During the few times I have felt good enough to let out even a slight sound, my partner always stopped. One time, a partner got up, closed the bedroom window, presumably to prevent any sounds from being heard outside, and then started getting dressed. It made me think that some partners might prefer me to be quiet throughout the experience. Does anyone have advice specifically for people like me? Story 52. A genuine burning desire arises when no one else from the opposite sex is visible to her. When she begins to give you gifts or spend her money on you, you can truly know she is the one. Story 53. I am a simple person. As long as blood flows to my legs and air fills my lungs when she is on top of me, I am quite content. Story 54. Most women, however, last longer than 7 minutes in bed. A woman's drive isn't determined by her arousal. Story 55. Get into the moment. Moan, say my name, tell me what you want me to do to you or how good what I'm currently doing feels. I enjoy giving pleasure, so anything that lets me know I'm succeeding in that will create a positive feedback loop. Story 56. I just want to feel like I'm pleasing them enough to care about good and honest feedback. It's a pretty high bar, though. I enjoy thinking they are personally satisfied. My ex of 8 years said the main reason she kept it going after our terrible first date was because of my humor, which was the hottest thing I ever heard. Story 57. Let's not forget the importance of being on top. I'm sure every man here has dated a woman who lay still in bed every time. At some point, intimacy may have felt like a chore. She not only needs to be willing to put in the effort, but she also has to actively engage so that both of you can relax and enjoy the experience. Story 58. When she's vocal and expressive, she tells me what she wants and is willing to vocalize that, from moaning to screaming to talking flirtatiously. Feels genuine, like she is giving it her all. The total opposite, which I consider bad in bed, is when she just lays there. It kind of feels like being with someone unresponsive. Story 59. To the men, my partner loves to watch adult content several times a day and masturbate. I never know how many times he has done it in a day, so when I go to initiate intimacy, he will be too tired or empty. How do I work around this? I've tried waking him up for intimacy, and he only sometimes gets up. I've attempted to interrupt the session to lead it to intimacy. I've taken full control, being on top the whole time. It seems the only intimacy he wants to have, even after I've explained to him what I like and shown him, is where he's being rough and doing things very fast and hard, which just isn't always good for me. If I let him do what he wants, he prefers me not to participate. His favorite position is doggy, and I try to match his pace, but he will stop me so he can finish quickly. Then he's winded, and I'm just there feeling dismissed. If he ever does cater to my needs in bed, he won't climax. No matter what I do, it won't happen. I'm starting to think he just doesn't actually like me. Intimacy has been this way since the first time. Help, please. Story 60. Men desire women to date and sleep with them despite having only a moderate level of sexual attraction, but they expect her to respond as if he is the most exciting person to ever notice her. Ideally, both partners feel a strong attraction, but realistically, she may be putting on a performance. Story 61. That's a multifaceted question. It's almost impossible to answer. An easier question to consider might be, what makes a woman a bad partner? Story 62. Don't overthink it. The goal of sex is to have a mutually enjoyable experience. Know what you want and need going in. Don't be afraid to communicate your desires to your partner. Many men take pleasure in giving pleasure. For a man to know he was the best partner you've ever had can change his life. Therefore, communication is essential. Sex isn't a ritual. It's a celebration. Story 63. Willing to perform oral and knowing how to ride would unfortunately place you at least in the middle of the pack for me. The last 3 females I've been with either did not know how to ride, completely refused, or were absolutely terrible at giving oral. The last 2 I was seriously considering dating or marrying based on looks, personality, and their job, but one refused to perform oral, and the other was too embarrassed to let me help her learn how to ride. The most important aspect of a healthy relationship is being willing to learn and do what your partner wants within reason. Story 64. Enthusiasm, lack of inhibition, and compliance with commands are appealing traits. Some individuals prefer an assertive woman, while I appreciate a woman who enjoys being submissive. Everyone is different. Story 65. I'm wondering about my partner and me. We have incredible intimacy, but the duration has been quite short. He finishes quickly, and I've tried to hold back on oral stimulation in the beginning. I'm adventurous overall, but unsure how to explore more when I don't have the time. Any advice? Story 66. You are all expressing enthusiasm. What if there's a situation where a girl is enthusiastic and is trying to step out of her comfort zone but gets rejected? Because you don't want to feel foolish but still don't want to instigate anything. I'm asking for a friend. Story 67. I will tell you what makes a woman not good in bed, and that is an unpleasant smell. I don't mean someone who hasn't showered for a day or two. I mean, there is something seriously wrong with your pH balance. There is nothing worse than a woman who is unresponsive and also has an unpleasant odor. Story 68. Good communication and creativity are important to me. I also appreciate women who have a sense of humor. I value a woman who shows affection and contributes to the overall process. Story 69. If we aren't competing to please each other like it's a sport and embracing each other like it's a romance movie, then it's boring. If I'm with someone who lacks ambition and care, then that will be the last date. Story 70. If she is sexually attracted to you and you are pleasing her, even the most reserved girl can become very adventurous. It is all about understanding what she wants that makes her enjoyable in bed. Story 71. Effort and willingness to be assertive with me while taking charge occasionally are important. If you want something, take it. I don't always want to feel compelled to initiate. Otherwise, I feel like I'm bothering you. Story 72. I always ensure she reaches her climax first. Then she finishes me off by riding me. I believe she wants to make certain that I finish inside her. She never lets me pull out and keeps me locked in, regardless of our positions. Story 73. Innocence, purity, and abstaining from sex until marriage. That's what makes women good in bed. It's not experience, pornography, or body count. A special moment shared between you and your one and only is the best because you learn each other's boundaries and favorite positions, tailoring your experience to each other, which makes it so much more special. Story 74. The thought of others being present can be overwhelming. What I really enjoy is the gentleness. Just because I have a strong desire doesn't mean I want an aggressive approach. I appreciate a gentle touch. Feels much better when things are not rushed. When the pace is too fast, it's hard to feel anything, kind of like being in a puddle. It's important not to rush me when I'm trying to reach climax and not to make me feel bad if it doesn't happen. I want to avoid the negative experiences of the past. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.